starts.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warshippers of all ages, to the final match of the losers bracket here of King of the Sea 14 on North America. Both of these teams squaring off, that is 07 and KSC, have been sent to the losers bracket by ELSR, who awaits them in the grand final, whoever advances. Let's have a look at the lineups. 07 here in the green, spawning on the north side of North, bringing St. Vincent, Kremlin, Worcester, Salem, Napoli, Moskva, and fronted by 3 destroyers, Gearing, Marceau, and Tunican Sam once again in the Ragnar. What do we got for KSC, Zath?
All right, KSC, looking forward, I'm sure, to this rematch with 07, bringing an Ohio, a Vermont, a Radar Minotaur, otherwise known as a Manitar, a Moskva, a Petropavlovsk, Grozovoy, our favorite destroyer, Z52, Haragumo, and a Gearing that's also running a unique upgrade.
These two teams have not met each other in King of the Sea play since the grand final of King of the Sea 13, which KSC claimed back in the day, a big upset about a year ago. And
right.
Here we are again. Now they did not face each other in the winners bracket. The LSR has sent them in turn down here to the losers half of the tournament, the losers bracket here in the tournament, double elimination in the playoffs. And now they've got a chance to move on and rematch against ELSR. And I'll be curious to see who picks up that particular honor.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to win this series, A, and B, who's going to be able to challenge ELSR again for that ultimate victory.
Indeed. Well, and
for now,
and if they do, well, I'll say, and if they, I mean, one of them obviously will, and when they do, oh, Tunican takes an early torpedo here. Look at that.
Yeah.
North of B.
Nice torps.
A little bit of a luck chuck there, but manages to land one. Because KSC was swept out in 2 games, back-to-back games against these guys. Against ELSR. And then, of course, we just watched 07, took a game off them, but still went out. And so between the two teams, only 1 victory. So I'll be very curious to see how that rematch shapes up.
Yep. Now, Grass-Fed Fred, I'm interested in seeing. He's in the Salem. He's in the typical spot that you'd put a Des Moines, but of course, Des Moines was banned by 07.
Indeed.
So now he's sitting there with his little T-Rex radar. Can he even reach all of B?
He can. Absolutely.
He can.
From that position, for sure.
But the duration of that radar will not be as long.
Yep. Yeah, we saw 07. This was the map they started their match against ELSR with.
Cowboy!
Right?
Cowboy just took a torpedo quite low.
Ooh.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
He's at 7K health now. So the same thing happened. He did that to somebody yesterday.
Earlier was yesterday, I think it was.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday we got to see KSC play no cap, and he was able to do that.
That's right.
And now Cowboy's radared. Yep. Oxymoron picking up Cowboy right at the edge of his radar range. He doesn't. Some more damage, but no fires.
Obviously, Oxymoron knows he can't stay there. He's got Hydro up. He'll be fine.
A little bit of juggling here. I didn't check. Siberian. Yep. Okay. Siberian is not running unique upgrade on Harugumo. They're opting for range. So playing that as basically a farming ship. Sit in smoke, farm damage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of drama at A. We kind of haven't talked about it, but KSC grabbing C here very quickly on the back of Shogun's Grozovoy.
That was an interesting hit.
Whole lot of 07 firepower on the 8, 9, 10 lines, sort of lining up over here. We saw them make this same kind of move earlier against ELSR.
Yep, and similar moves to the south here. We've got a Moskva ready to receive, as well as an Ohio.
More torpedoes going in on Cowboy and Siberian, but clear. There comes a radar. There's the Minotaur radar catching Mad Dog's Gearing. St. Vincent shells coming in for Coops. Minnow falling astern.
Yep. Just in time, though. Siberian had just started smoking, so that was perfect timing with the radar and the smoke combo. You're going to see that Haragumo just vomit shells for
Yep.
about 30 seconds or
Going to do
so.
as much damage to Mad Dog as they can. He does finally get out of the radar. Coughs up about half of his health, though. A good use of the radar. A little more than half there. It's more shells falling in.
And that's going to give them a cap as well.
Yep. Siberian's going to be able to pick up A. Cowboy continuing to screen for Coop. And so here we go. 6.5 minutes in, and KSC already ticking up A and C. Although it looks like 07, Boom Diata about to step into C over here, backed up by Tunican's Ragnar.
I love this. Gasfet Fred is just farming the Vermont here. Sexy Colonel Sanders
Just for free.
for free. Because what else is he going to do? He's got nothing else to do there.
Free damage. Like, why wouldn't you?
Right? But Floops is about to change that as he backs into B cap.
Hatake's
Sorry, go ahead.
Hatake's Petro gets a couple of resets on Boom Diata's Marceau there, but in the end, it's not going to be enough to stop them from getting this cap eventually.
Yeah. Fred did a really nice job realizing as soon as he got detected, Floops must have backed out with the Z52. Didn't even need to pop the radar, just started blind firing exactly where Floops would be. So the thing I hate about that, though, is you effectively take one chip out of the battle if you're KSC, because Floops isn't really able to do much with that Z52 at that position.
No.
Whereas Fred is able to at least shoot at a Vermont, so he's able to at least have some sort of a say in this battle.
I like Z52, Zath. You and I have talked about kind of the underutilization, in our opinion, of that destroyer in competitive play. And teams, certain teams that we've seen have started to pick up on that and fold it into other places. Not because we're talking about it, but maybe find a new use for the ship, right? But I'm with you. We've seen, who was it? We saw KSC do this yesterday. The same position with the Z52 against No Cap. And I'm with you. I'm not a tremendous fan of utilizing it in this fashion on North.
Yeah, well, it looks like he got the memo. He's leaving the island. Looks like maybe thinking about approaching from a different position. But look at this push now with Peyton and Boom Diata and Tunican Sam.
Yeah, I think we're about to see Peyton push into this gap along the eastern side of the B cap. Looks like he's going to make this turn. Once he does, his guns will have the potential to have a big impact on the western half of the map.
At the same time, that does extremely limit his maneuverability.
It does, but who's going to go in there and get him, right? Like if there was a Marceau or a Kleber on the other team, you might be a little concerned, right? They could potentially come up that channel and charge him and destroy him, or at least beat him up with torpedoes. But without that, in the opposing lineup, I don't know.
Yep, we're just watching torpedoes go back and forth at the A cap. Nothing else to really comment on there. Floops is in a position where he could actually do some pretty good damage to that Kremlin. The problem is Boom Diata's Marceau is there to play escort.
They just caught a glimpse of the Kremlin, so they know he's in this gap now. He was lit very briefly. I'm not sure who spotted him, but he was lit for a moment. So, not 9 minutes in, and 07 seems to be shaping up to make a move on the B cap here.
Well, look at Charlie. John the Ruthless is down to 17 and falling.
Yep, they've sort of left him alone over here. It's a 3v2 on the 9-10 line, and at the moment, KSC out trading. John should be going down here shortly, I think.
I would expect so, yes. Although he does have a heal up now.
He's trying to power through, maybe get out of detection. I doubt that he'd be able to do that. Ooh, solid hit there from the Kremlin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny has the possibility to end this conversation with his guns right there. Not able to do it.
Nope. There's Moskva shells arcing over and hitting. John is on fire. Oh, Mad Dog goes down.
Mad Dog goes down. And Oxy, the Wooster takes another torpedo. Big salvo there. Two big kills for KSC. Over a 300-point lead here as we cross over the halfway mark of the game.
That's the other part about the Gumo that we often forget about, right? It's got
Mm-hmm.
torpedoes too, and it's got torpedo reload booster.
Well, and you generally don't find players, certainly in competitive play and even in randoms, maybe you don't build a Harugumo with a focus on the torpedoes, do you?
No.
Ace is about to take some more of these, but these are gearing torpedoes. Oxy takes another
Oxy.
one,
Yep.
and he's about to take yet another one. I think maybe.
He's okay.
Whoa, barely, but Oxy is
Close.
flooding back there.
I love the gall though of Siberian. He's got a smoke available, but he's like, I don't need this.
Nah,
There
nope.
he goes.
Ace is throwing his AP downrange, hoping to catch Coop in the smoke, but he doesn't.
Now the Harugumo Siberian dog does have adrenaline rush, so perhaps he was trying to, help that a little bit.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
I would agree.
BFK's Napoli now the focus target over here on the 10 line. And yep, he's all
Makes
loaded
sense.
out. He's all kitted out this game. Didn't make that mistake again.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, he's going to go down as we
Yeah.
have almost a classical classical era battle forming here of like the Greeks versus the Persians, right? Like,
Yeah.
or Spartans versus Persians, I guess, as both sides are like, push!
Colonel Sanders trying to avoid these Marceau torpedoes. He's going to take at least two.
That's
Waiting,
right.
waiting for the shot on the Kremlin. Nope, doesn't take it. Takes it at Fred. Not nearly as much as he would have wanted. Going to see if he can get the ram on Peyton.
Makes sense. He's got his heel going.
His heel is ticking. It's a question of
Boom
whether or
Diallo's
not
coming out.
Peyton can get behind cover
He can.
to deny this ram. It's going to be an awkward turn for Sanders.
Sanders realizing he can't even
Nope.
risk it because of the Marceau there.
Nope. He's just going to turn and maybe take another salvo at Fred or somebody. Maybe the Ragnar if he lives that long.
Yep.
There he goes. Took it to
Blown
the
out of the water.
Ragnar. Oh my goodness. A big 10K hit on Tuna Can back there, but they bagged the Worcester. Coop managing to farm him out over here on the 8th link while that was going on, and now it's a 4-ship lead for KSC. Writing's on the wall, Zath.
Feels like it. Yep. As Raiden Shogun goes right into CCAP. Just going to walk right in and pick it up.
I can't defend it now. Everybody's at B.
Hatake and the Petro in a very familiar position.
Yeah, you noticed that, did you?
Yeah.
Based on the way we've seen them play this map, Zath, I gotta say, this North feels like KSC's map. Like they're just so good at it. Just their strat, whatever they like, the strats that we've seen them deploy on this map have worked very well.
Yes, they have.
That's a pretty shot from the Ohio there. You see that?
Now-
Danny pushing shells through the saddle, getting onto Peyton.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. Did you realize 07 actually picked this map?
Yes, I did. This is 07's map pick, and pretty convinced they're about to lose it.
And this is a best of 3, correct?
This is a best of 3.
So it's up to 07 to win next game.
Yep.
You said earlier their backs against the wall.
Well, it's about to be pushed even farther because they're going to be down a game in a best of 3. They're going to have to do the reverse sweep, which they have done before, if they're gonna stay in this tournament.
I love Coop's Minotaur now just raining down on
Yep.
grass-fed fried Salem.
Now, in fairness, I think we're being a little unfair because essentially at this point, and I think this was the point that Boggsy and Gaishu were making in between games, is that we're really playing for position at this stage, right? Like the prize pools are
Sure.
a little different, but all 3 of these teams are definitely going to the international. Who big Citadel's there from Hatake's Petro. Citadeling a broadside Kremlin again. Where have we seen this, Seth?
Right?
So it's just a question of, more or less what position they're going to have, what opponents they're going to have as Tuna
Oh.
can defend C.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, but look at Peyton going down to Z52 torps of all things.
Wow. A little
then-
bit of a trade there. Bit of a bloodbath as Tuna goes down to the Moskva radar.
Yeah.
Not able to convert C back. 60 seconds on the game timer now. Harugamo and Minotaur trying to farm out Fred here.
And Boom Diata comes out.
Yep, just Boom and the Salem are all that's left.
$50.
Coop actually has to be a little cautious because at the end of the day, that's still American piercing on a Des Moines reload, right? Of the Salem.
Mm-hmm.
He can't just wander out there with his Minotaur and do whatever he wants because just a few of those shells will end his game very effectively.
Yep. But Siberian and Coop making Grass-Fed Fred taste the rainbow.
Yep. Boom Diata and getting into a gunfight with Atake. They know it's over. They're not going to prolong things.
Mm.
Boom Diata doesn't have to open up and be spotted, but he does. He does. He takes his licks. He goes out. KSC wins game 1.
And I get my death pick. Oh, goodness. That's,
woo.
Yeah. That felt pretty strong for KSC, I gotta say.
It did. It started off a little rocky, right? That early torpedo on Cowboy could have been much more impactful than it ended up being.
Yes.
But they played that A-flank to perfection, Zath. They had a little bit of torpedo luck themselves. And sometimes when you've got 2 destroyers like that on the same flank, you make your own torpedo luck with the right cross-torping angles. And these guys are good enough to do that as well.
Ah, real man makes his luck, huh? Okay.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, well, game 1 in the books. Let's see if KSC closes this out in game 2 or if they can force a game 3. We'll send it back to the studio.